Welcome to Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I'll be guiding your practice today. I was thinking about balance in our lives, how important balance is physically. I have older parents and my mom is very unbalanced and always afraid of falling, which is very dangerous. I was thinking about mental equilibrium and the ability to stay calm in crises and not to just kind of go off the rails for unexpected or smaller things. And it occurred to me that there's really nothing about Jesus' call in our lives that is a call to balance. Jesus calls us to be passionate and to be radical and to be all in. And I was thinking about how what he asks us to do is not about balancing my spiritual life with my ministry life, with my life of works. It's not about balancing my time with my family and my time with my work. And none of that is the call of Jesus. Jesus says, leave your family behind. Jesus says in Matthew 5, the whole list, not only should you not murder, but you shouldn't even think about being angry. Like if you're angry with your brother, you're going to be judged for it. You've heard it said that you shall not commit adultery, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, not even lusting. So all of these very radical things. And he says to us, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. John 14, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. It's that simple. So, balance. I think our Christian life is balanced when we are so firmly anchored in the love that God has for us, in his forgiveness, in his willingness to look beyond our past, and his call into our future. When we are so focused on that, we are so rooted and grounded in the Word, in the Scriptures, in the stories of God's love, in the stories of God's judgment. When we have all of that together, we lead a balanced Christian life, because all of our works and all of the good things that we do for other people and all of the success in our relationships, all of that flows out of the love that God has given us. So today, as we do a practice of balance, I would invite you, just as we really think about anchoring and rooting and really just staying very connected to the mat in order to find the balance poses that we're going to find, to think about how everything that we do flows out of the love that God has for us. And that is what leads to balance in our lives. As you're ready, come down to the mat. If you have props, I would invite you to bring your hips up onto a prop so that your hips are elevated a little bit. Bring any other props that you have towards the front edge of your mat. Finding your sitting bones, maybe moving the flesh away from those bones, begin to just really anchor those bones into the block. Whether you're not on a block or not, just begin to notice that if you lean a little bit too far forward, you overarch your lower back. And if you lean a little bit too far back, you begin to slump and round the shoulders. So even here in the sitting pose, can you find alignment, this balance, this strength in the front and the back of the body equally as it holds you up? Crown of the head rising high, jaw parallel with the floor. Closing your eyes, begin to find your breath. I would invite you today to bring your hands together, each finger touching the same finger of the opposite hand, thumbs first, second, third, pinky fingers. Just very lightly pressing into the fingers. Again, thinking about all of the ways that we can connect in order to feel grounded. With each breath, press lightly into one set of digits. So with each breath, with one breath your thumbs, the next your pointer fingers, etc. Can you breathe a little more slowly, a little more deeply? And relax the hands on your legs. Begin to check in physically, just noticing what's going on in your body today. Joints, muscles. Where do you feel a little stuck or a little tight? Check in energetically and emotionally. Just acknowledging where you are as you begin. And invite the Holy Spirit to guide your practice today. Let the fingertips come down to the mat, and the next inhale, raise the arms up, palms together as they meet at the top. Exhale, arms come down. So if you would like to practice with music, we have a Spotify list. You can find that on Spotify. You can also just create your own worship list, but I would encourage you to add music to your practice. Again, just another way to really ground the practice, to stay focused on Jesus. As the arms rise, let the gaze come up. As the arms come down, bow your head. Connecting movement with breath, guide with the breath and lead with the breath. One more breath here. Pressing into your right fingertips, bring your left arm up and over, and then go the other direction. So just back and forth here a few times, lengthening through the side of the body, warming up the core muscles. If you're ready, let that right arm come down, left arm reaches, 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 overreach. Again, just root, ground, and breathe. Draw the hips down, belly in, gaze up. If you're ready, release, come up and go the other direction. That left hand comes down, right arm reaches, reaches, reaches over. Gaze up, shoulder back, breathe. If you're ready, release. Bring the hands out to the side. Exhale, round your back. Cat as you inhale. Palms come to the back. Seated cow. And just really warming up the muscles of the core today. As we balance, the core is extremely important. One more time here. As you're ready, interlace the fingers, bring the hands in front. Backs of the hands towards me, gently take the right shoulder forward, lift it up just a little bit, looking underneath. Notice the way the legs are connected to the mat. Can you press through the legs or the feet a little bit more? Coming to center, turn the hands inside out, palms facing up. Reach the arms all the way up, palms to ceilings. Reach the shoulders up to your ear, and then draw the shoulders down. Anchor here for a breath. One more inhale. Hands come down behind you. Stay here, open up across the chest, deep breath in. As you're ready, release. Interlace the fingers awkwardly, backs of the hands towards me. Left shoulder reaches forward and up, look underneath. Breathe here. one more time, arms rise up, exhale, hands come down to your side. Coming off whatever you're sitting on, go ahead and bring that up to the front. Meet me in table. So really anchoring through table as well today, really thinking about the way that we connect into the earth. Go ahead and notice that your weight is on the base of the first finger, the pinky finger, each side of the wrist. There's a little pocket of air there, so the top of the hand is kind of pulling up and tented. Fingertips lightly pressing down, elbows facing in, shoulders rotated externally, gliding down the side towards the hips. Abs in, smack through the tops of the feet. Feel the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Feel the weight coming a little bit off the kneecaps. From here, exhale, cat. Inhale into cow. Back and forth here 2 more times. Your pace, lead with your breath. As you're ready, meet me at center. Pressing into your left arm, bring your right arm forward. It is right below your ear. Extend your left leg back, curl the toes under, and float the leg up. So, exhaling, elbow to knee, crunch, inhale, extend. Back and forth here 4 more times. Crunch and extend. 3 more. One more. As you're ready, stay extended. Bring the arm and the leg out to the side and back to center. And 2 more times here. As you're ready, hands and knees down. Gently come back into child. Draw the hips back. Inhale up into table. 2 more times, child to table. Anchoring through the abdominals. Go ahead and lift that left arm up again, just below the ear. Flex the toes, lift the foot up in the back. Exhale, opposite elbow to knee. In the crunch, can you lead with breath? Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. 5 times total. As you're ready, take the arms out to the side and back in. Three more here. As you're ready, hands and knees down. Exhale, find child. Inhale to table. Come forward. Find a kneeling plank. Exhale down to the mat. Again, really nice strong abdominals here. Pressing the forearms wide and down. Inhale up. Sphinx pose. Exhale out of it. 2 more times here. Come up into Sphinx and stay in Sphinx. Press the forearms down, engage through the abdominals. Let the rib cage glide down towards the hips as the abs come in. Engage through the legs. Think about grounding. Notice that as you press down, there is more freedom in the body to rise up. Hands come to the rib cage, hips rise, hips to heels. One more time, just through that flow on your own. Kneeling plank to the mat, Sphinx to child. Meet me in table. Again, really strengthen through table. Find a neutral position of the spine. Do you naturally overarch the back or around the shoulders? And you're maybe finding that same place that you found while you were anchored and sitting. Curling the toes underneath. Knees draw up to rib cage. Hips reach towards the ceiling. So the hip crease is reaching towards where the ceiling meets the wall behind you. Fingertips forward. Begin to pedal through your feet. Inhaling, heels rise up. Exhaling, heels come down. Notice what your downward dog is telling you. Where are you still tight? Where do you want to take a little extra care today? Let the right leg rise high. Gaze forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Using the props if that's better for you, maybe coming to the fists if that's better for you. Back knee comes down and up. So a few times, just tapping the knee down, bringing it back up again. As you're ready, extend that leg up, sink into the front leg. Feel the inner thighs drawing towards the center line of the mat. Press into your left hand, raise that right arm up. Gentle twist. Can you hold on with the abdominals so that this hand that's on the floor is just floating? One more breath here. Exhale and unwind. So our first balance challenge. You're going to take the front leg to the back, but can you just hook the toes over the ankle of the other foot? And stay here for a breath. Release both feet on the mat, dropping down through the knees. Find your flow of choice as you come down to the mat. Find a back bend. And exhale as the hips draw back to heels. Child's pose. And then meet me in downward facing dog. And the next inhale, left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Back knee taps down and up. As you're ready, extend that back leg up. Again, just really find the stretch, front knee over the ankle, inner thighs drawing towards the center of the mat. Taking that right hand to the mat, twisting towards the inside of the front leg. Use the abdominals to kind of just help you float the hand there. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're ready, unwind. So again, that front foot will go back, hook the big toe, the next toe over the heel. Breathe here. One more breath. Feet hip width apart. Come down to the knees. Come down to the mat. Back bend to child. Table to downward facing dog. Meet me there. Take your time, no hurry. Engaging through the abdominals, float the hands back towards the toes. Bend the knees, rib cage to thighs, let the head come down, shake it out, no, and yes. Bring the lift and lower the hips. As you're ready and the hips rise, just explore that first forward fold today. Where does it take you? What is tight? Can you find length in the spine? Bend the knees a little bit more if that back feels tight. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Pressing through the feet, rise high. Hands to heart. Root, ground, and breathe. Just breathing in, breathing out. Just find it here. Notice the way that the feet are connected to the mat. Stepping into that right foot, bring the right foot forward. Hands to thigh. Begin to find a really strong lunge here. So you're just going to push the muscles of the leg towards the knee, the shoulders back, rib cage in, draw the arms up. Breathe in here, breathing in, breathing out. One more breath here. As you're ready, hands to heart, you can come into a high twist or join me in a low twist. You're just going to reach forward with the body, twist towards the front leg. That opposite arm comes to the outside of the leg. Again, imagine the inner thighs drawing towards the inside of the mat. How are the feet connected to the mat? Can you feel the mat underneath the base of the big toe and the little toe? Maybe open up the arms. Maybe bring the back hand to support at the sacrum. Unwind. Come all the way up. Hands to heart. Step the front foot back. Find balance. As you find mountain pose, how long does it take you to find your balance? Are you swaying? Are you shaky? Just notice. Bring that left leg forward. So again, arms rise up. Hands to thigh. Press the leg in. You're maybe bringing that back hip forward. Front hip crease back just a bit. Arms rise up, nice strong lunge, root, ground, and breathe. As you're ready, maybe finding that twist, hands to heart coming forward. Go ahead and turn, finding the twist that's right for you. Again, come up higher if that's better for you. But maybe you're down here with me, the outside of that arm against the outside of the thigh. Maybe the arms open up. And maybe that top hand comes to the sacrum bone, giving you just a little bit more support as you balance and twist. Release, come center, hands to either side of the foot. Bring the foot to the back, find plank. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath here. Again, just finding your way down to the mat. This time I would invite you to come up into low cobra if that works for you. Stay in low cobra and simply float the hand. Bring the elbows together. Release and come down. Bring both arms forward, both legs just a little bit wide, strengthening through the back. Let that right arm rise as the left leg rises. And release. Inhale, opposite side, left arm, right leg. Move my plant there a little bit. So back and forth here a couple of times. Still moving with breath. And really just noticing the way that it feels to push down into the mat as you lift your limbs up. Are your works rooted in love? Is what you do for God the outflow of His love and sacrifice for you? One more each way. As you're ready, hands come back to the rib cage, rise up to table. Stay in table for an extra breath here, just finding that neutral position of the spine again. And then draw down and find child's pose. And just stay in child's pose. As you're ready, meet me in downward facing dog. Coming up through table, toes curled under, breathe in. Let that right leg rise high, heel to hip, knee to sky. Open up with a lower body twist. Flexing that foot, imagine that the foot is pressing into the wall behind you, and as you do that, that enables that hip to come slightly forward to open up. As you're ready, bring the heel back up, straight up to the sky. Engage through the abdominals. Go ahead and do a three-legged plank. Come back up. Leg rises high, gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Hands behind you. Let those hands come back. Breathe in. Find strength in the abdominals as the arms rise. Exhale, hands come underneath the leg, nose to knee. Find the balance. Inhale up. So press through your feet for balance. Draw the belly in for balance. And find focus for balance. Right? Focusing on the wall in front of you, then the floor beneath you. Hands to heart. Step the foot back to meet the other one. Find balance. Again, how long does it take you to get the body still? Bring that left leg forward. Nice deep breath here. Nice strong lunge. Hands come behind as you lean forward. So start here. Engage through the abdominals. Bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come underneath that leg as the nose comes to the knee. How is your balance on this side? 2 more times. Hands to heart. Step the front foot back to meet the back one. And a little bit of strength there. Just notice the balance. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Walk the hands forward, find full plank. Find your way down to the mat and back to downward facing dog. Raise that left leg high. Come forward into a 3-leg plank. Stay here. One breath. Inhale, leg rises high. Exhale, bring that knee to the center of the mat. Kickstand that leg behind you. Left hand to the center of the mat, left knee at the center of the mat, right foot parallel to the outside edge of the mat. Arm rises high. Engage through the abdominals and imagine that the shoulders and hips are pressing against the wall behind you. Checking balance, maybe that leg can rise. Maybe the heel comes back, hand comes to foot, foot presses against hand, hand against foot as you find a bit of a back bend. Where is your focus? Is it down at the hand that's on the mat? Is it looking over that shoulder? Let the hip points come forward a bit, abs in. Unwind. Bring the foot down. And release. Find your plank. From plank, gently draw both knees towards the mat, but don't quite touch. Bring them back up. One more time. Draw back to downward facing dog. Stay here, breathing in, breathing out. Find release in the wrists, in the shoulders, in the hips, in the back. Find length in the legs. And then come forward, bringing that right knee to the center of the mat, right hand to the center of the mat. Pivot the shin out. Left arm reaches to the sky. First, really anchor into the mat. So find it first. Engage through the abdominals so that the abdominals and the back muscles are holding the core of the body up. As you're ready, flex that back foot, find length, and float the leg up. If you want that next challenge, the heel comes back, hand to heel. Press the hand into the foot into the hand. Decide where the focus is. Is it low? Is it high? Find balance here. As you're ready, press that foot out, hand comes up, unwind, meet me in plank. And from plank, drop the knees down, come down to the mat. Low cobra or sphinx. Come back through child. Curling the toes under, meet me in downward facing dog. Pedal through your feet, move your hips a bit. Just notice the way that the muscles are responding to your practice. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down. Let the right leg rise high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes forward. Back foot comes to warrior one. Deep breath in, rise up. Exhale here. Hands behind you. Meet me in warrior three. So that back leg will float to the center, flex the foot, and come up. grounding and rooting through the foot that is on the mat. Abdominals in and strong. Focus point on the floor underneath you. Maybe the arms come forward. Bring the arms up. Come back into that warrior one. Hands to heart. One more time. Hands down at the side. Press into that front foot. Find the focus. Back leg to center as it comes up, finding length from the top of the head all the way through that heel. Arms come forward. This time, the back knee comes all the way, back leg comes all the way up, knee rises. Hands to heart, foot comes down. Find balance. Can you slow your breath down? Slow your heart rate down. Deep breath in, arms rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway, exhale down. Find your plank. And from plank, find your way to the mat, however you choose to do that. Back bend of your choice. Meet me in downward facing dog. This time the left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes through the hands. Back foot comes to warrior one. Rise up. Find your warrior, make it strong. Hands down to the side. Reach those hands long. Where are you connected right now? What's your source of balance? Bring the hands behind you. That back leg comes to center and rises up. Just body and leg parallel to the floor. Arms come just in front of the ears. Come back to warrior one. Again, hands come down. Back leg comes to center. Flex the foot. Rise up. Body and leg parallel to the floor. This time arms come forward. Back leg comes forward. Knee rises high. Exhale, feet down, hands to heart. Stay here and check in. Breathe in, breathe out. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, back comes up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other. Find your plank. From your plank, find your flow to the mat. Your back bend. Meet me in downward facing dog. One more breath here. Left leg rises high, gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through. Stay in lunge, deep breath in. Meet me in warrior two. Finding balance here, that back foot parallel to the outside edge of the mat. That front knee is anchored right above the ankle. Feel the way the feet are connected in. Feel the hands reaching out to the wall on either side. And as you're ready, come into side angle bend, that front forearm on the thigh, that back arm reaching all the way up. Exhale, take that top hand to the small of the back. Go ahead and bring your bottom arm down towards the mat. So take whatever level of this is best for you. Maybe this is enough and this is where you stop. Maybe you come into a full bind. That bottom arm wraps up around the back of the hip. Maybe the top arm connects, maybe not. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you want a little bit more today. So this is your balance challenge. Bring that back foot in about halfway. Press into the back foot. Focus on the wall in front of you. And raise the front leg up. Breathe in. Breathe out. And as you're ready, unbind. Bring that foot back. Everybody meet me back in Warrior 2. Find a peaceful warrior as that arm comes all the way back behind you. Cartwheel so that both of the arms are in front. Pivot the back foot. Bring the back foot to the front. Find your forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, leave the left foot forward, take the right leg back. Inhale, rise high. Pivot and meet me in Warrior 2. Anchor through the abdominals. Breathe in, breathe out. Side angle bend, front forearm to the thigh. Opposite arm comes all the way up to the ceiling. Use the core muscles. Use your focal point. Press down into the mat. What is the source of your balance? So now we're going to come into a bind from the top. Bottom arm comes down to 6 o'clock. Maybe it comes underneath the leg. Maybe the hands hold each other. You can also do this with a towel. Okay, it's all abdominals now. That back foot's just going to float up halfway. Come to the toe of the front leg. Find your focal point. And rise. Breathe in. Breathe out. Meet me back in Warrior 2. So wherever you were, come out of it, find the warrior. Go ahead and drop that back arm, lift the front arm overhead, reach, reach, reach. And then cartwheel as you spin forward, pivot the back foot. This time the front foot comes to the back, find plank. Breathe in, breathe out. Knees come down, child to table 3 times. And then stay in child. Allow the body and the mind to slow down. How are you connected to the mat? Root, ground, and breathe. Make any adjustments that are right to make. 3 more breaths here. Pressing into your hands, rise up. Go ahead and bring the legs forward. So just to give yourself a little bit of a release here, feet wide on the outside edges of the mat. Go ahead and just drop the knees right to left, massage all the way around and across the glutes. As you're ready, go the other direction. And release and meet me at center. So, finding a variation of boat pose today. Again, just thinking about boats and the way that they rock in the waves, right? The way that they feel the wake underneath them, and yet they stay steady. Go ahead and bring the right knee up. Extend the left leg. Arms reach either side. So you are not on your sitting bones right now. You are just behind them. You are behind the sitting bones and in front of the tailbone. Bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the feet down, knees down. Hands underneath the legs, find a seated cat. Seated cow. So really finding that sweet spot this time. I kind of took it into it a little quickly there. Just behind the sitting bones. Just behind the sitting bones. So that left knee comes up. Right leg extends and lifts. Maybe you're supported on your hands because that's best for you. That's okay. Maybe there's a little more balance. The arms come forward, a little more strength as well. Right? So again, this life of following Jesus that we are called to, it's not easy. And it doesn't look like it's balanced to the world around us. Release. Hands underneath the legs. Cat. To cow. And yet, in this weird, supernatural balance that God calls us into, we find peace, we find overflowing love. So one time, straight up boat pose, one knee up and then the other. Engage through the abdominals. If your back is hurting, maybe just come down on your back, give yourself a hug, draw your knees in, rock side to side. So if you're still challenging those abdominals, stay here. You can extend the legs, but I want you to keep the work in the abdominals. So if the legs go straight and all the work feels like it's in the quadriceps, bend them a little bit. Right arm comes halfway out to the side. Left arm halfway out to the side. Both arms out and in, up and sit. This time, hands in the front of the shins. Draw back, count. Inhale, up, cow. Release. Find a block, bring that block to your hips. Come down onto your mat. So palms are down at your side, shoulders are heavy on the mat, feet are hip width apart, feet are a little bit in front of the knees. As you press into the feet and the shoulder blades, gently come up one vertebra at a time into your bridge. And exhale out of that. So 2 more times here. You've asked a lot out of your abdominals and back muscles today. So let's just find a little bit of release here. Do the heavy lifting from the strong muscles of the legs. Lift up with those quadricep muscles. This last time that you come down, take a full breath here, let the body release, but stay where you are. And Just bring this block underneath your back. So it's underneath the sacrum bone. You're still resting on your shoulder blades and feet. You are now also resting the bone just above the tailbone and below the vertebra, resting the sacrum bone on that block. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you'd like one more element of balance. That right leg just lifts up, foot presses towards the sky. Left leg joins it. Root, ground, and breathe. As you're ready, one leg comes down to the mat if your legs are up. Then the other. Everybody just stay, feet down. Stay on that block for 2 more breaths. As you're ready, lift up just enough that that block comes out from underneath the legs. The back comes to the mat. Let the back come down. Stay there for 2 breaths as you settle in. Check in. Just notice the curves of the spine. Again, just notice the way that you are grounded, the way that you are connected to the mat. Extend your arms up, palms face each other. Reach, 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 and let the shoulders slump down. 2 more times. Hands come down to hips. Go ahead and extend the legs long. Go ahead and windshield wiper the feet back and forth. Turn the head side to side. Meet me at center, palms up. And we're going to just stay here for about 2 minutes. And then I will bring you out of it. So as you feel your body sinking heavy into the earth, think about the roots of faith, the foundation of love and forgiveness, and the freedom that that gives you to stay balanced in the calling of this world. Gently bring yourself back to this time and this space. Feel the connection of the body on the mat. Reconnect to your breath. Gently begin to bring movement back. Little fingers and toes, rotate wrists and ankles. Turn your head side to side. On that next inhale, arms rise, reaching, reaching, reaching. Breathe. As you're ready, roll over onto your side. Stay there for a few breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And then gently press into your hands and come up to a sitting position. Finding your sitting bones again, realign. Shoulders over hips, crown of the head rising high, jaw parallel to the floor. Think about where you were when you started your practice today. Body, mind, and spirit. Think about where you are now. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Bow your head, joining me in prayer. Holy God, we are so grateful for your love, for your forgiveness, for your patience and your gentleness. God, you are the foundation of our faith. Jesus, you are the foundation of our faith. It is at the cross that we bow, and it is because of the cross that we rise, and that we stand in victory, able to withstand all of the pressures of the world. Holding strong, holding firm. God, help us to find balance in our lives. Spirit, set our priorities. That we stay firmly anchored in your word, anchored in your love, anchored in relationships with your church, with your people. God, we pray that as we leave this place, that we can be a light to all that come into our presence, and that through that, they can see your light. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen.